Hello everyone, Chandler here. I'm the lead community developer of Historica, the educational trading card game, and in today's video we're going to be talking about charge, leveling up, and treasure cards. This will be our third tutorial video in our How to Play Historica tutorial series, so if you haven't checked out the previous two videos, I recommend that you do so, but if you're ready and caught up to this point, let's begin. Last video we spoke a little bit about charge and how charge works within the game. And in today's video, we're going to begin with that topic and just go into a little bit more detail about how charge works and how important of a role it plays in this game. If you've been following along with the tutorial series, you would know that charge is gained during your second period. And the amount of charge that you gain is dependent on the player level that you sit at. Charge is stored in a fictitious construct known as the Century Disk. And you can use a number of different things to represent how much charge you have gained throughout the entirety of the game, or the current amount of charge that you have right now. I like to use a D20. Spin downs are preferable, but you can use any D6, D4, D10, D12, whatever suits you best. Some people like to use a piece of paper, maybe a calculator on your phone. There is a great variety of things that you can use to keep track of how much charge you've gained throughout the turns. It is important to note that charge is not lost during your turn or as periods progress throughout the game. So whatever your charge sits at the end of the period, that's going to be the same amount of charge going to the next period, and so forth, even into your opponent's turn. As seen in the previous tutorial video, we played this Pilgrim card on our turn. We had to take 2 of that charge. In the game, we refer to that as harnessing 2 of the charge that we have accrued within our Century Disk, and then use that as a payment to play this card and set it into the field of play. Goes without saying that if you do not have the appropriate amount of charge to harness to play a card, then you, of course, cannot play that said card. Whenever you do harness charge, it is important to note that you expend or use that charge by the end of the period, because if you don't, then that is the only circumstance in which you would lose that charge. So whenever you're playing cards or harnessing charge, always make sure to use that charge and harness it wisely so that you get the most out of it. Now let's talk about leveling up and treasure cards. In the first tutorial video, we created our treasure pile at the beginning of the game. It consists of the top 4 cards of your deck after you've shuffled, removed your sideline members, and your single place card. It essentially is an extra 4 cards dealt out before you draw your 6 cards for your starting hand. Also, at the beginning of the game, you start at 0 player points, thus putting you in the ground level of the normal game. If we consult the player level table found within our instruction rulebook, that would mean that we are within the ground level. At the ground level, we gain 2 charge during our second period. As the game progresses, and we use our squad members and our cards within our hand to gain player points or inspire to gain player points, we will begin to increase our player point total. Consulting the player level table within the instruction manual, we can see that there's a couple of tier levels. At the start of the game, we have 0 player points, meaning we are within the ground level, gaining 2 charge at the beginning of our turn. Once we meet the 100 player point threshold for achieving sky level, we would then begin to charge 4 charge at the beginning of our turns, and so forth, following along with the chart above. As you progress through these thresholds, and you meet the requirements at any time during first period, end period, during one of your opponent's turns, whenever you cross one of those thresholds, going from, say, ground level to sky level, you instantly level up and you get to draw a treasure card from your treasure chest. That card is instantly added into your hand and you can immediately play it if you would like, as long as you have the opportunity to do so. Say in the odd circumstance that you would be losing player points, say you would pass under one of these thresholds. Doesn't mean you have to take a card from your hand, put it back into your treasure pile. No, that would be silly. Instead, you just take the penalty of not gaining as much charge as you normally would during your second period. So you have to watch out for card effects that would sacrifice some of those player points or use some of those player points for an advantage during the game. Say you were now able to pass that threshold that you just dropped from previously. You actually would not draw an additional treasure card from your treasure chest. Whenever you do pass a player point threshold, ascending to the next level, you can only draw a treasure card from the treasure chest once for each ascension to that level. So you can't keep going back and forth from, say, sky level and ground level to draw all the cards out of your treasure chest as quickly as possible. So, sum that up, you can only draw a treasure card once for passing sky level, for passing star level, for passing sun level, and passing into universe level. So in total, there's four ascensions that you can achieve, so that is why we put 4 treasure cards within our treasure chest at the beginning of the game. Thank you guys for tuning into this tutorial video talking about charge, leveling up, treasure cards, and the treasure chest. In the next tutorial video, we will be breaking down all of the unique cards found within Historica and talking about how they are played, how they interact with other cards, and just showing off some of the unique features that some of them have. So thank you guys once again for watching. Please leave a comment down in the comment box below. If you have any questions, I'll be looking down there to answer any questions that you may have. And thank you all for watching and have a wonderful day.